Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This video is one that I've been talking about doing for a while. It's been a long time since I did a talking head video. So I'm just going to jump right into it. We're going to talk about how to pass the APEA or the 3 Ps exam. So I have some exam tips or study tips and then exam tips to give you. So please watch to the end of this video. If you're new here, please subscribe, like this video if this is relevant to you or you're planning to go back to get your FNP or your PMHNP or any other nurse practitioner certifications. I want to tell you guys what happened to me, but first I'm gonna give you your first tip, which is start prepping early. So when I registered for my PMHNP program, I heard about this 3 Ps exam, and I heard that I had to take it. I had 3 chances to take it, and if I failed after the 3rd time, then I would be booted from the nurse practitioner program, and I couldn't do any more clinical type advanced practice program at this school. So I could do something in leadership or education, but I could not do a practitioner, nurse practitioner clinical program. So I knew about this, so I was kind of nervous. I didn't start out taking any of the classes to prep for it. As a matter of fact, they don't even mention it until you get a little bit closer to it. The actual instructors and the classes, nobody mentions it. I knew about it because of an online group that my program has that is not affiliated with the school, but is ran by students, and they were talking about it a lot. So I knew it was coming, so I was a little nervous, so I started prepping early. So maybe I took it in, I want to say it was July, I think. So I started prepping in May. April, May, and that's important. So you want to prep early. Treat it like it's NCLEX. Start prepping ASAP. So if you know you're going to take this exam, just go ahead and start prepping. And you're probably wondering what is it going to cover? Well, it's going to cover your physical assessment, advanced physical assessment. It's going to cover advanced pathophysiology and advanced pharmacotherapeutics. So pharmacology, pathophysiology, and physical assessment as a provider, not as a nurse, an RN. So I'm a little bit more in depth. So, and then also it doesn't matter what track you're on. So I'm PMHNP, but I still had to take this 3 Ps exam, which had very little, if any, psych questions on it. So that's my first tip. So prep early. Next, so there were some apps that I used. I used the FNP Mastery Exam Prep 2025. Now, I will say that is expensive. It's $39.99 a month. Personally, I got that very close to my exam date. So I got it I think I tested in July, so I probably got it in June. So I paid the $40 once. So that way I could practice that whole month on this particular app. And I liked it because it was portable, and then I was able to review the rationales and take as many questions as I wanted to. So it was very convenient, but again, it's expensive. It's $40 a month. And then second, the other thing that I got, which everybody talks about, which is the Likes. I don't know how you pronounce her last name, but it was her book. There's 2 versions. There's a 4th edition, and then more recently there's a 5th edition. So everybody that took it maybe earlier last year, 2023, early 2024, they probably got the 4th edition. This is the 5th edition. So you want to get the FNP certification intensive review. It has 1,200 questions with detailed rationales. It's based on the latest exam blueprints. There's 4 full-length practice exams in print and online. And then you also get an online personalized study plan, flashcards, games, study community, and more. So I would get that one. This one is $84.99, and that's current price because I just looked it up. And so you do get access to the Exam Prep Connect online. I'm not for sure how long. There's also an app. I want to say they give you 6 months access from the time you put in like your exam date. I think. Don't quote me on that. But I used it and then I haven't used it since. So after I passed. So anyway, so I got that, and then let's see, that was $84.99. There is another app. Well, it's not an app. It's a website. So APEA has their own like question banks, practice exams, but they cost. So the question banks, I'm looking at my notes. So the question banks cost $115 per question bank per 3 months. So depending on what you want to like test on, it's $115 every 3 months. And then the practice tests were like $4 to $5 each. So I didn't do that because that's a little expensive. And then my school, they don't give you access to that. So some schools, if you don't pass, they'll give you access to those question banks, so you don't even have to purchase them. So initially, I probably wouldn't invest in it, but I mean, it's up to you how you decide to study. But that's just personally this is what I did. So I did that F&P Mastery exam, the likes book. I used the online and the app. Also on this here, I think I read you guys like what all the Exam Prep Connect offers, but I just want to like kind of like do it one more time because that was very helpful to know. Like it breaks it down. So you put in your study or your test date. It'll give you a map, a timeline of what you should study, when you should study it, and what you should cover. And then you can set up the questions any way you want. You can set up to where the rationale pops up right away or later. It'll give you where you're weak at in different areas. So then you can set the number of questions. So if you don't have a lot of time, you can set it to like 10 questions, or you can set it to 20 questions or whatever. And then it gives you like mock exams. So that way you can kind of see like how it'll be like simulated. So you're not like, you don't get like exam anxiety, even though you're still gonna have anxiety, but anyways. So yeah, so that website was very helpful and very useful for me when it came time to study. So some other resources that I found ineffective, which were Quizlet questions. So as we all know, Quizlet, you get questions, people put them in there and they put the answers, they do flashcards and things like that. I have a trust issue, so I wasn't 100% positive, like even though I might have agreed on the answer of the question that I looked at, I wanted to be 100% sure that that was the correct answer. And when you're going based off of other students, you never know. I mean, they can be right, it can be wrong, you don't know, because you would have to fact check each question, and sometimes there's like, a lot in a study deck. So then you're spending more time verifying the answer, but then also you don't get the rationales right away. And so it's really important that you read the rationale so you know why what you chose was right or wrong. That's one issue I have with Quizlet. And then another one is Student Docs, I think it's called. So for that one, there's like an exam print for each body system, and it goes over, it's not an exam print, it's like questions. I don't know where they get the questions from, but they're questions. And then the answer is like highlighted. So that way you can review, you see the question, see the answer, and keep going. Again, there's no rationale. I don't know who selected the answer, so I don't know if it's right or wrong. So I like to, if I'm studying from something, I have to know that it's correct, because I don't want to study the wrong thing and then see it on an exam in a different format and not know how to answer it. So I didn't feel like that was effective, because you get answers, but you don't get rationales. And then there's review videos on YouTube. Some of them are like audio, some of them actually give you questions. For that, it just depends on what type of learner you are. So if you're an audio visual learner, that's good. If you like something like, textbook, pen and paper, or, you know, even being on an app, then it might not be as effective for you. But I did not use the review videos on YouTube. Not to say that they're not effective, but that just wasn't, I knew that wasn't going to work with me, because I like to write things down and I got to see things concrete. So yeah, so that is resources right there. This video is going to be like all over the place, but that is your resources. So let's recap a little bit. Resource 1, FNP Mastery Exam Prep 2025. It's an app, you can get it on the App Store. The links, FNP Certification Intensive Review, and their app and online access website. And the book is $84.99. Exam prep was $40. And then you have the APEA website, and their question banks and their practice exams can range anywhere. The practice exam, $45 and up. The 3-month access to their question banks, $115 per 3 months. And they have different plans, so you can go longer than 3 months. And then you know, the lesser ones that I feel like are lesser are like, but cheaper, are Quizlet, student docs, and the videos on YouTube. So those are your resources. Your second tip is to treat this, if you are a licensed nurse, treat this exam like you would NCLEX. Flat out, like it's NCLEX all over again, right? Only difference is it's from a provider perspective, not a nurse perspective. So just know that it's a wide range of content. There's no way you're going to know every single issue with every single body system. Even in the real world, we have resources that we can go to on the spot. We can look up things. We can, you know, make sure drugs don't interact or have, you know, side effects, severe side effects for patients with different comorbidities. So you're not going to know everything, but what you can do to prep is to do your questions, like go through each body system, or actually get on the website where they mix it up a little bit and, you know, do your questions, so many a day. If you set 50 questions a day or 75 questions a week, and read your rationales. That's how I prep for NCLEX. This review book here, it does have like the different body systems and like different like diseases, different things that can go wrong in each body system. But it could be information overload, especially if you feel overwhelmed easily, if you get overwhelmed easily. So the best way to cover as much as you possibly can is to set an amount of questions that you want to do per week, and do those questions, read those rationales. And then after so many, you know, weeks of doing that, maybe depending on when your test date is, do a mock exam and see how you do. And also review your test taking study strategies that you used, or not study strategies, your test taking strategies that you used when you took your NCLEX. But so that's my big thing. Treat it like NCLEX. That's what I did, because there's no way to know everything. So the best way to prep is to do as many questions as possible and read your rationales. Let's take a break from the testing, right? The whole going over the test and what to study. I want to share with you guys like my story, what happened. So I did all of this that I told you guys that I did. I don't know if you guys remember that outage, the internet outage that we had. I believe, gosh, I want to say it was June or July. I can't remember exactly. Probably July, because my kids weren't here. But I prepped as much as I possibly can. I was so nervous. I said, okay, I had a week to take it. I took it like second to last day. And then when I went to go take it, like the internet didn't work. The site just kept loading and I freaked out. I'm like, what the world? Because I thought like once you start it, you can't, like the timer starts. And so I was worried that I had hit start and my timer was going and I couldn't access the test. So of course I panicked, and then it came out that, you know, there was a worldwide outage, and, you know, you guys knew, you know, last summer was crazy. So, you know, like how long it took to get everything back up and going. So I think our test was delayed by like a week or two. And And then they gave us like a longer time period to get it done. So I think it was about like a week or two. And so, you know, I don't know, I kind of did questions, but I kind of didn't because I was nervous. I was super nervous. And for me, like before I took my NCLEX, I didn't study the day before or the day of because I just took that time just to kind of like relax, just kind of do other things, take my mind off of it. And that doesn't work for everybody, but it works for me because I'm not as anxious. Like I'm still anxious when I take the test, but I'm not anxious all the way up until the day of the test and then sitting in the testing room in front of the computer and I'm freaking out because I'm even more anxious than when I started out to be. So I say all that to say, when I was able to take the exam, I hit play, I hit start, the test started up, my heart was beating fast, but I went with my gut. Like I didn't ponder on any question too long. And that can be a little nerve-wracking, but that's what I did and I passed. I was really shocked. So I got my results right away. And I wish I probably do have it somewhere like screenshotted or something, but I don't have it at this moment. If I find it before this video goes live, then I will put it up there. But I passed my exam and I was really shocked because I was kind of like, you know, on the fence, like did I pass, did I not? I didn't feel too confident about it. And I felt the same exact way when I took NCLEX. And I ended up passing, you know, first time around. So yeah, so that's my story as far as like when it came time for the exam. I told you guys the requirement of my program, so there was a lot like weighing on this, so I knew I only had 3 chances to take it. And then as far as like the student reviews, a lot of people have mixed. Some people understand why they take it. Other people are like, why are we taking this? And some universities don't treat it like mine, where you know you can take it so many times and then you're out the program. Some universities treated it as like, okay, this is where you are. This is what you need to work on. And so every school is different. So make sure you pay attention to your school's requirements for you passing or not passing. That's my little tidbit. So let's go back into, I kind of told you guys like the day before and the day of what I did. So like I said, it doesn't work for everybody, but if maybe, I don't even tell you to try. I'm just gonna tell you what worked for me. I relaxed. The time that I had to wait to take the exam because of the outage, like I didn't do any excessive prep. I think maybe I might have practiced like once or twice, but I was too like, my nerves were too bad to really review and retain. And then definitely make sure you eat, stay hydrated. And then on the test day, breathe, go with your gut, and treat it like NCLEX. And I say that a lot because it's true. Like it's the same type of, almost the same type of environment. Only difference is you're taking it at home, but there's a lot of content and you only get so many questions. So you have to, like I said, there's no way for you to know everything. So that's why I say treat it like NCLEX. And then as far as like while you're taking the test, narrow down what the question is asking you. And remember, like in nursing school, like on the NCLEX, all the answers could be right, but what is the most right? What would you do next? Or what would you do first? Depending on what the question is asking you, right? And then it is timed. I believe you get 3 hours. And it is recorded, but from what I understand, there's nobody like watching you. But like if you make certain movements, like if you were like glancing over here or you did something like that, the recording would kick in, or it like picks up that, and that's when it starts recording, just to make sure you're not cheating. That is my tips on how to pass the APEA, the 3 Ps exam. Hopefully I wasn't talking too fast. If you have any questions, you can definitely put them in the comments. Good luck to you, and I wish you the best on your journey.